crypto market right now shows one of the biggest opportunity zones in this world. If you are here looking for financial freedom, then you better not miss this opportunity. The price is showing you historically when this happens, it clearly does something. And if you understand that and take benefit of this particular move in the market, that should be well enough for you to be financially free for the rest of your life. Now, what is the market showing you? XRP is showing some signals and symptoms. Now, if you zoom in, zoom out, and play with it and understand the fact that historically these levels have been really important. And then you zoom out to get the macro picture, and you're like, whoa, we're just repeating the history. So, when we are repeating the history, why should we say no? Because the market is repeating that. We just have to join that party. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We're going through almost all these crypto assets which are ready to pop. Not all of them, because a lot of them are showing you red flags. You don't want to go in there. But almost all the opportunities are being posted in here so that you don't miss any of these which are popping, and you do avoid which are still under a massive resistance zone. Now, if you want to take benefit of that, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, before we continue, please do smash that like button for me if you are receiving value from this channel. Now, if you actually look at a monthly chart, this is something which we cannot deny, because as we zoom in, we do see that on a weekly, price action is showing you something crystal clear. Historically, one range has been a support resistance. You play just above it, you play just below it, and then you do this kind of a pattern, and then the bull run starts. Great. Now, you have a historical level of support resistance. You play above it for some time, you play below it for some time. Now you're creating the almost same pattern, and you're ready to take off. Now, the only difference here is with the news from SEC, case being solved for XRP, we had a huge pump, which I would say gave us a lot of advantage. Because we broke that support, we closed above that, we remained above that for a few weeks. That was a huge advantage for this asset. And now, what you are watching in front of you is that the price action is showing you clearly that it's about to ride higher. What do I mean? I zoom in, I'm showing you this. When the MACD is crossing to the upside and the RSI is still not in the overbought region, that means a lot. The price action has a lot of room to run. Yeah, let's zoom in. On a 3-day chart, you're just entering the overbought territory. So you are not yet highly overbought, or you don't even have a negative divergence even on a 3-day. You still have the double bottom. You broke higher, you validated that, you're running higher. Say you zoom in, there's a 12-hour chart. Not daily, not 4-hour, somewhere in between, you're trying to assess the market. And the market is saying, okay, I'm coming back down, but there is a lot of people who really want to take advantage of that lower price point. So people are buying into this asset. Now, if you actually understand the macro of where the market is heading towards, the market is actually trying to go back to one region, which is so interesting. Say, if Bitcoin actually breaks through 36,250, I think we are up for something interesting, a burst to the upside. Why? Because this is what we are watching. Now, earlier today, when we were actually going through all of this, I informed you guys on the right time saying, watch, this is going to happen most likely. And in about 4 hours, we saw that like, yeah, this was it. 4 hours since the post, we actually did that. The BTC dominance played in that favor. So once you are looking at the charts and saying, okay, this is the possibility, I even dropped an audio note explaining the possibility that that drop in the market was a huge opportunity. And right now, look at some of these assets. they're starting to run up. This is all happening when BTC dominance on a macro is still trending up. You're watching all of these assets taking off 10, 20, 50% a day in an all season. Yesterday, remember API 3, we took our profits close to the top, 1.8, close to that region, saying, okay, we may drop. Now we did drop. So taking profits at the right time becomes a huge point if you're trading. But if you are trading, you have something else. But if you are a long-term investor in an asset, you're looking for key levels. You need to see where you should be taking some profits. You need to look for the actual resistance levels. For XRP, these ranges becomes heavily important. $2 is close to that range, which has historically been a big resistance, and then the all-time highs of 3.8. But right now, if you break it down, you zoom in, this is what you're watching. That particular area highlighted in red, that is going to be the key of the next 13x move for XRP. We have seen something similar in the past. So I'm like, okay, let's wait. Let's wait and see. Are we going to break that directly? Are we going to consolidate there for some time? Because if we do consolidate, some people would neglect this and say we are going back down. Maybe 0.2, 0.3 kind of story comes back in. But as soon as this breaks higher, the FOMO is kind of there. Because this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, the weekly chart. As soon as you break this level, I think you are going to be in the overbought zone in the RSI. MACD is already bullish, already sharp. It's looking really great because historically this pattern shows you are about to run back up. Unlike last time, you are listed in a lot of different exchanges. You're going to get massive volume. Go look at the volume in XRP right now. Compared to last week, you're like 5x up in volume. Like, okay, things are changing pretty quickly. You're actually watching buyers outbidding the sellers, not by a huge margin right now, but it is happening in front of us. And the price has not taken off like crazy yet. So when you actually go on to a daily chart in XRP, what can we really see? We are actually looking at this and we are like, okay, fine, we do understand this. We saw this breaking higher, retesting and bouncing off. Now we have a resistance level where we got rejected last time, making a double top pattern. Now, are we going to come back to that level and get rejected? We have to wait and see. But right now, as you zoom in, you actually can see a trend line, which we are kind of following for some time now. Say from last month, we've been riding on this short-term trend line. So the price is showing you a sign. What is that sign? Look at the 4-hour candle and say, what does this mean for you? For me, I would argue that it is an engulfing candle happening at a time when the RSI is at the support and trying to bounce off. Okay, that looks good to me. Now, I need to also see the MACD crossing back up. So I would look for this range as a consolidative movement like what we have recently seen in the past. Consolidate a little bit, move up. Consolidate a little bit, move up. This is the most healthy way to go higher. Instead of getting a long pop and coming back down, this one is a ladder to the heavens. This is how you take off slowly, steadily, and then you pop. Say, go back in time and look at what we have done before. We used to do these small movements, consolidate, then have a big movement. We have small movements, consolidate, and a big movement. So we're actually waiting to see something like that coming in the market. Yes, while you wait for that, it's a waiting, it's patience. It's the game of patience. Whoever has most patience will win this game. But when you actually understand that this is the structure which you are looking at, if Bitcoin dominance do come here, that's okay, that's normal. That's the historical trend line. You're taking last 5-6 years to see, okay, what can I possibly look at? And when you understand the fact that, okay, if we do get rejected from there, which happened back in 2017, which happened here in 2021, and right now, if that comes true, that means a lot. That clearly means a lot. If you do get rejected at that point, that's like massive, crazy, all season kind of coming back in. So if you actually zoom in, asking the question like, okay, what can I understand? I would first say, go look at the dollar. Dollar is still here. It didn't actually break to the downside. We do want to see that happening. That is going to be a key level of the macro event. On a short term, you're looking at the Bitcoin in a different way. Say you can actually put the argument on a short term chart. Say you clear all of this. Look at the RSI. The RSI is showing you it is following a similar structure which it has done in the recent past. So if that's the case, where the price is moving up like this, we're going to see some level of volatility. But for sure, the trend is not different. You're still going to follow that exact trend line to the upside. So if you plot that to the upside, you can actually put the argument, okay, maybe we're going to have all these consolidation go back up to 40,000, consolidate, go back up to 42, 43,000. That is good because Bitcoin is not taking a giant leap up and it's consolidating at each highs, which means altcoin has much more room to run. Whenever Bitcoin bounces, altcoins are going to go crazy. Right now, when you zoom in to see, okay, where we are on a short-term basis, what we are looking at, this is where we are literally. This has been a previous level of resistance. We are now flirting with that level. We would like to see that this level break to the upside, say 36,200, 250 range. And that kind of gives you a clear understanding that, okay, your immediate next measured move for Bitcoin on a short-term basis is around 5% to the upside. So you take that 5% and plot it to the upside. It comes somewhere close to 38,000. Great. From 35,000, if Bitcoin is about to go right up to 38,000, that is still enough because this is a short-term chart showing you the MACD is trying to cross back to the upside. It is still in the positive zone and I want to see a giant breakout in the RSI. We're trying to break through that. It's fine. It's not bad, but we want to see a giant one, meaning you want to actually retest and bounce. So that makes it a little bit clearer on a daily where it says, okay, I'm running, watch me. That kind of event is about to happen. But when you look at XRP on that short horizon, you're like, okay, this is a little bit more clearer. The engulfing candle is a bit more sharper. If you want to see it as a pattern, you go on a zoomed in chart. Say you can use an hourly or a 2 hour and you see, okay, this is the flag pattern which we are doing now. That looks interesting because if we can break to the upside, now we are looking for like 0.8, 0.85, 0.9 range. Now, on a short term, yeah, you can still use Fib and put the argument like we may go up to $1. I would say, okay, let's be conservative. Let's say somewhere around 0.9 is still fine. Why? Because I personally, when I look at this, I would say, okay, last time when we had this, we didn't actually go up to the top. Rather, we actually ended up somewhere just below 3.618. So I put that argument like, okay, close to 0.9, 0.92 is going to be a great range to look at as a next impulsive movement for XRP. This would look really great. This would look really great. Because as soon as the price comes close to that dollar mark, you know, the FOMO kind of shifts, it tilts, the market kind of goes upside down, people kind of goes crazy. The FOMO just begins at much more interesting levels. People would start selling their car, house, everything which they can and put money into the market. Now, that's not what you should actually do. You should be buying at the bottom when no one else is thinking about it. We were so high on it saying, guys, watch this. This is a macro level of support. When a lot of guys were selling you the dream of buying XRP back here at 0.3 and 0.2. I told you that's not going to come. And here we are watching that the price is at this level. So easy way to look at this is like we are going up, follow the trend. Trend is your friend. And if you want any help and suggestions through a lot of these assets, including XRP, XLM, and anything which you have in your portfolio, SI Family is here to help you. You can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below where we can go through the one-on-one session and you can get my thoughts on your portfolio, what I think is good, what I think is bad, and how you may actually rebalance it for a better return on your investment. Next 3 months, next 6 months is going to be that golden opportunity zone in my thought process. Now, we are seeing a lot of people jumping in. We are seeing, last time we talked, where were we? Around 550. Now we are around 600 plus members, close to 610 members. People are coming in because they know that this is valid. And watching all this, I'm really happy because this is what exactly happened back in 2020, November, December, Jan. You know what happened 2021, April, May. Just after that, the market took off. This is a sign, this is a signal. That is why I try breaking things as clear as possible to as much people as possible here for almost every asset which has a lot of potential. So you guys can take advantage of that. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.